Hello guys and welcome to my new video, and today we're going to be talking about my main choices. We're going to look at some of my predictions in terms of the raid composition for healers. Again, everything and anything can change because I'm still hoping for some substantial healer changes because I don't think healer balance is all that amazing right now, and it kind of scares me. But let's go and talk about my main choice because this is probably the #1 question that I've been asked every single time I turn on my stream. Now, if you've been following my stream, you're probably fully aware which healer I'm looking to main in season 2 and why I've been somewhat salty about some of the healer changes. Now, first of all, it is important to note that when the new season comes out, I am looking to raid at high end. I am looking to push ranks. Our guild is looking to continue in getting those Hall of Fames, and our guild does have that FOMO, fear of missing out. They do want to have a solid healing roster because they want to have the higher chance of success and all those things, even though I don't think you need to play absolute meta healers to get that Hall of Fame. And it's particularly scary this season because Blizzard is not going to get data from the Heroic Week. On the 4th of March, everything is going to release. You're going to have people logging on their mains and pushing content, and Blizzard tends to not do balancing changes when Race to World First is active. And because of this, if you're a high-end progression guild, you pick a healer with the hopes of getting some buffs in the future, and let's say they don't get it, you could possibly be stuck with that healer for at least a couple of weeks, maybe longer, without having any substantial changes happening to them, which can actually be extremely detrimental if you're looking to push really high rank. And this is why I feel like season 2 healer choices can be extremely important depending on the content you're doing, because I want to play Resto Shaman for season 2. I've been playing a lot of Resto Shaman. Do I enjoy the changes that happen from season 1 to season 2 for Resto Shaman? Not really. I've been very vocal about the problems with Shaman, and I've been secretly hoping for more changes to happen, but at the end of the day, I still gravitate towards that Resto Shaman healing spec. I know a lot of people are going to be saying, why Resto Shaman? Resto Shaman is not ranked high in tier lists and all that. You tend to pick classes that are better. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but I just want to pick a chill healer. And I definitely think that Resto Shaman, especially Totemic Surging Totem, Healing Stream Totem type of gameplay, is extremely chill. It's not exhausting, and if you want additional complexity, you can try and play around Cloudburst. On top of that, I like to do a lot of Pug Mythic Plus content, especially early in the season, grinding that gear, grinding those crests, and I definitely think Resto Shaman is an amazing Pug healer in terms of the utility it provides, and you can definitely feel like you can help and carry the group, providing interrupts, knockups, knockbacks, stuns, and utility. Honestly, it feels like you are in control, and I really like that aspect of Restoration Shaman. But I don't want to sugarcoat this. At the end of the day, if nothing changes for Restoration Shaman, he has a lot of issues. Mana consumption needs to be reduced, and again, last week Blizzard reduced the mana cost of Healing Wave, and looking at those changes made me really think about, is Blizzard aware of what needs to change for Resto Shaman? And it makes me a little bit scared about the future of Resto Shaman. Again, as I mentioned, I still enjoy this spec, I still want to play this spec. Now, trying to convince my raid leaders and the guild that I want to play Resto Shaman has not been easy. Our guild is trying to create a roster that is going to have the highest chance of success, but everyone in the guild also has alts. They need to have alts because of split pushing, and in case your main character is not going to be all that optimal, and the guild asked me to play multiple alts in case Resto Shaman does not get any of the changes that it needs. And I've been asked to play Preservation Evoker, and I've been playing a bit of that Flame Shaper in raid because we had an issue in season 1 of the War Within where we didn't have a Preservation Evoker ready, and basically all the guilds were running 1 or double preservation because it was so busted OP, specifically Flame Shaper. So I can see where the guild is coming from in terms of having or preparing a roster that can account for a lot of these, how do I say, possibilities. And I think it is important to do that if you're trying to push high-end content. So in terms of my options, I'm looking to play Resto Shaman. I'm hoping for some future changes. I'm going to have a Preservation Evoker ready in case Preservation Evoker is going to be more wanted. But my second alt, or in my eyes, is going to be my first alt. I really want to try out and play more Restoration Druid. I've been playing a lot of Resto Druid on PTR, and I kind of feel like Resto Druid is something that I would like to play again, especially in raid. I can't remember the last time I played Resto Druid in raid because it's been such a long time. So just to summarize, I'm looking to play Resto Shaman. I'm hoping for some future changes. I do have Preservation Evoker as a backup because my guild asked me, and in my eyes, my main alt is going to be Resto Druid. So Resto Shaman and Resto Druid is something that I really want to play more in Season 2 in Raid and Mythic Plus, and try and optimize them, make guides and all those things. And again, a lot of our raiding roster already is playing a Mistweaver Monk, already playing a Disc Priest or Priest in general, and a lot of our characters or healers have backups or alts for priest and monk in case there's going to be some of that double stacking. And in terms of raid predictions, if nothing changes, again, this is looking at high-end content, and there probably will be more changes, but Discipline Priest is still looking extremely strong both in raid and Mythic Plus. I think it's pumping numbers. I think it is harder to play Discipline Priest in raid than it is in Mythic Plus, depending on which build you're going to opt in. I think the fact that Mistweaver Monk is still pumping numbers, even though one of their builds was currently nerfed in terms of Chi, Red Crane, Jade Bond interaction, I still think you can play Yulon. I'm not sure what the best raid build for Mistweaver is going to be, but they're still pulling out numbers, and I think output is extremely strong right now. And outside of that, I do think that Holy Priest could also make an entrance. So at the end of the day, I could see double Priest, Mistweaver, Monk comp being extremely strong, and I could also see certain guilds, their whole raiding roster being comprised of Priest and Mistweaver Monk, which is absolutely wild because this is what I mean by healer balance being somewhat skewed. I also have to mention that Holy Priest for me feels a lot better in raid than it does in Mythic Plus, and this is one of the ongoing issues in terms of how to balance healers when it comes to Mythic Plus and raid content. And hey, Holy Priest is still retaining that strong spot healing niche, which is actually one of the reasons why in Season 1 Holy Priest was used in some of the Race to World 4 skills, because Double Flame, Shape, or Preservation Evokers took care of AoE, and Holy Priest took care of any of the issues with spot healing. If you're playing a Priest and you're able to play Discipline and Holy Priest, depending on situation, depending on the boss, depending on what is needed, that is a huge quality of life, and that is one of the reasons why I see that there's going to be a huge overflow in Priest healers. And if nothing changes, I think we're going to be looking at a very rigid healing comp when it comes to the highest, again, raiding or pushing your ranks in raid, and I think that is not a good thing. For example, a lot of people have been really down about Holy Paladin. I've been asking a lot of guilds about how they feel about Holy Paladin, and right now a lot of the guilds were not looking to bring a Holy Paladin at all, which is honestly a first in a very long time. And again, even though it provides damage reduction with Evo Aura and Aura Master and all those things, but a Aura buff or a buff to Holy Paladin could change all of this list in an instant. This is why I'm saying that predicting raid compositions is extremely volatile, because I am expecting more changes. But it's also very important to acknowledge that there are certain healers out there who can provide something else outside of HPS. For example, in Resto Shaman's case, you have Spirit Link Totem, you have APT or Ancestral Protection Totem, which can be great for mythic progression depending on which bosses. You have ways of increasing players' HP with AV, Ancestral Vigor, and Downpour. But we've seen this before, where utility is not going to carry a spec or a class if it's not pulling its weight. And in Shaman's case, again, you're looking at mana issues. We talked about this throughout the video, and the fact that Resto Shaman doesn't provide top tier HPS does not mean Resto Shaman is guaranteed a spot. Maybe other guilds are going to try and play with Preservation Evoker, but Preservation Evoker is a type of healer that is going to live and die based on tuning, and there is going to be more changes incoming, or at least I'm hoping. But personally, to finish up the list, I could see Restoration Druid fitting in there, because especially if you're missing that Mark of the Wild buff, but also because the mastery changes, I like those changes, especially when it comes to raiding, because of how Resto Druid hot stacking works. I could see this raiding roster being somewhat popular. Again, a lot of interpretation in terms of the last healers being included or some missing raid buffs. If you're a high-end mythic raiding team, you do want healers to be able to play multiple healing specs or have multiple alts in order to account for possible healing or tuning changes. But right now, I don't think you can go wrong with playing a priest or Mistweaver Monk, especially considering that the overall best healer right now in my eyes is Discipline Priest when it comes to Mythic Plus and when it comes to raiding, which is absolutely wild. And you could argue that this calls for better tuning for healers when it comes to raid and Mythic Plus. And just to summarize the whole video, I am looking to play Restoration Shaman, and it is a chill healer. It's something that kind of appeals to me, especially in this game where bosses, Mythic raiding bosses, Mythic Plus dungeons, just have so many mechanics, so many things to look after. I like to gravitate towards healers that seem to be more chill, and that's a good aspect in my opinion. Do I like the changes from Season 1 to Season 2 in terms of Resto Shaman? Not really, but I'm still kind of copium in terms of hoping more changes are going to happen to Resto Shaman. I'm going to have a backup healers in terms of Preservation Evoker because the guild asked me, and I'm also going to have a backup healer in terms of Resto Druid, who's going to be, in my eyes, my second or my main alt, because I really want to play Druid a bit more when it comes to raiding and Mythic Plus. And a big disclaimer here, I do want to play Resto Shaman, but it does not mean that I will or get to play Resto Shaman 100% when Season 2 is released on 4th of March. At the end of the day, there is a possibility that I might have to or swap over to something like a Resto Druid as my backup healer, because I do think Resto Druid, at least right now, is probably better than Resto Shaman in most forms of content out there, and we'll have to see how everything is going to turn out. But these are my healers that I'm looking to main and possibly main. Resto Shaman, I'm hoping to play it. I'm hoping or asking Blizzard for more changes. I don't think healer balance is great at all in Season 2. I'm really hoping for something better in the future. Let me know which healer you're going to main. Let me know if you're a type of player who's going to help out your raid and play whatever healer the raid asks you, or you're the type of healer that has a healer that enjoys the most and you're gonna stick with them no matter what. Let me know. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next guide.